Life isn't a problem you need to solve. Life is a mystery you're meant to live. Jung spent 50 years analyzing the human mind, and what he discovered will flip everything you believe about existence upside down. You're not steering your life. Your life is steering you towards something you can't see yet. You're not accumulating experiences. You're being shaped by forces you don't understand. After treating thousands of patients, documenting his own psychological collapse, and mapping territories of consciousness most people never access, Jung reached a conclusion about life that most people reject. Not because it's complicated, because accepting it means admitting you never had control. Today, I'm revealing what Jung discovered life actually is. And once you see it, you can never go back to your old understanding. Here's what Jung uncovered that destroys every assumption. Life isn't chaos you're navigating with willpower. It's an intelligent system with a blueprint you can't see. And you're not the architect. You're the building being constructed. Every betrayal, every unexpected door that opens, every collapse, every mysterious recovery. They're all part of one design. Your psyche becoming what it was always meant to become. The unconscious revealing itself through events you call your biography. This isn't spiritual theory. It's what Jung documented in case after case after case. Life has patterns, rhythms, and underlying intelligence. And once you recognize the pattern, everything that looked random becomes obviously orchestrated. Let me break down what life actually is. Life is your psyche, externalizing itself as events. Life isn't things happening around you while you react. Life is your inner world projecting itself outward, and then you experiencing those projections as external reality. Jung discovered something that sounds impossible but appears in every patient's history. Your outer life is a perfect mirror of your inner state. Not metaphorically, literally. The chaos in your relationships reflects chaos in your psyche. The blockages in your career reflect blockages in your development. The people who keep hurting you reflect parts of yourself you haven't integrated. Think about this carefully. That toxic person who won't leave your life. They're showing you a toxic pattern inside you that you refuse to see. That opportunity that keeps slipping away. It's revealing a part of you that doesn't believe you deserve it. That same argument you have in every relationship. It's an internal conflict you're staging externally because you can't resolve it internally. Jung saw this with mathematical precision. A woman came to him complaining that men always betrayed her. Every boyfriend, every male friend, every father figure. Jung didn't comfort her. He asked, "What inside you is attracting betrayers?" She was furious. But 6 months later, she realized she didn't trust herself. So she created relationships with people who proved she was right not to trust. Her external life was her internal doubt made visible. When she changed her relationship with herself, the betrayers disappeared. Not because she set better boundaries, because she stopped projecting the pattern that attracted them. This completely inverts how you see your life. Your circumstances aren't random tests. They're your psyche making itself visible so you can see what you've been unconscious of. Every person you meet is showing you a part of yourself. Every situation you're in is revealing something you haven't integrated. Every emotion you feel is information from depths you haven't accessed. Life isn't happening to you. Your psyche is happening as your life. And the events you think are external are actually internal psychological material taking form in the world. Jung said, "Whatever is not conscious will appear in your life as fate." But he meant something deeper. Your life is your unconscious made visible. Change your internal structure, your external reality restructures itself automatically, not through manifestation, through psychological law. Your life is a battle between two forces, fighting for your soul. Jung discovered something that explains every contradiction in your existence. You're not one self trying to live one life. You're two completely different psychological centers locked in permanent conflict. The persona, who you've learned to be, and the shadow, who you actually are but have rejected. Your life is the war between these two, and you're living inside that battlefield calling it normal. The persona is your adapted self, the version of you that learned to be acceptable. It follows rules, meets expectations, plays roles. It's who you became to survive your family, your culture, your circumstances. But it's not you. The shadow is everything the persona had to reject to be acceptable. Your rage, your desires, your power, your truth. Everything your persona deemed too much got thrown into the shadow. And it's been growing there your entire life. Here's the brutal part. These two are at war every single day. Your persona wants to keep performing safety. Your shadow wants to explode that performance and live authentically. Your persona wants approval. Your shadow wants freedom. Your persona wants to maintain the image. Your shadow wants to burn it down. And your life is the manifestation of this war. Every breakdown is your shadow attacking your persona. Every crisis is your shadow saying, "Enough pretending." Every self-destructive pattern is your shadow trying to destroy the false self so the real self can emerge. Jung experienced this violently. His persona was respected psychiatrist. His shadow was madman exploring invisible realms. The tension between them almost killed him, until he realized the tension is the process. Integration doesn't mean choosing one side. It means consciously holding both. When you understand this, your entire life makes sense. That job you hate but can't leave, persona versus shadow. That relationship you know is wrong but stay in. Persona needs security, shadow needs truth. That creative project you sabotage every time. Persona fears judgment, shadow demands expression. Your life isn't you versus the world. Your life is persona versus shadow playing out through every choice you make. That depression you can't explain. Shadow withdrawing energy from the persona's performance. That rage that comes from nowhere. Shadow breaking through the persona's control. That strange peace after you finally quit. Shadow and persona momentarily aligned. You're not supposed to eliminate one side. You're supposed to integrate both into something larger than either. But most people live their entire lives dominated by the persona, performing, adapting, never meeting who they actually are beneath the acceptable version, until something breaks and the shadow erupts, and they call it a crisis. Jung called it an opportunity. Your life is a script you didn't write, but are forced to perform. Here's what shatters everything you think about your choices. You're not making decisions based on free will. You're enacting a script that was written before you were conscious, and you have no idea you're reading lines. Jung discovered that every person lives inside an unconscious narrative structure, a story their psyche created based on early experiences. And that story determines everything: who you love, who you avoid, what you pursue, what you sabotage. You're not choosing freely. You're acting out a script. Two people can face identical situations and respond completely differently. Why? Different scripts. One person's script says, "When threatened, fight." Another says, "When threatened, disappear." The situation is the same. The script is different. The life is different. But here's what makes this terrifying. You don't know what script you're running. It's unconscious, written in childhood, reinforced through repetition, operating below awareness. Jung called these complexes, autonomous psychological programs that run your behavior without your permission. The abandonment complex makes you cling or preemptively leave. The unworthiness complex makes you self-sabotage right before success. The savior complex makes you rescue people who didn't ask to be saved. These aren't personality traits. They're scripts running your life without your knowledge. Jung worked with a man who destroyed every good thing in his life, every promotion, every healthy relationship, every opportunity. Self-destruction wasn't his choice. It was his script. Written at age 7 when his father told him, "You'll never amount to anything." His psyche created a script. Prove him right. And for 40 years, that's exactly what he did. Unconsciously, automatically, until Jung made the script conscious. Once he saw the script, it lost its power. Not immediately, but gradually. Because consciousness is the only thing that can override unconscious programming. Your life right now is a script in performance. Every repeated pattern is a scene you keep reenacting. Every person who does this to you again is a character you keep casting. Every outcome that always happens is the script reaching its predetermined ending. You're not living freely, you're performing unconsciously. But here's the hope Jung offered. Once you see the script, you can rewrite it. Not by positive thinking, by making the unconscious story conscious. By recognizing you're in a play you didn't choose. And choosing differently. Life has one agenda, to force you to meet every part of yourself you've been avoiding. Life doesn't care about your happiness. Life cares about your completeness, and those are not the same thing. Jung discovered something brutal. Life will systematically destroy every way you've learned to stay comfortable. Not to punish you, to complete you. Because you started whole and then split yourself into fragments to survive. And life's only job is forcing those fragments back together. This process has a name: individuation, becoming undivided. And it's not optional. Life will individuate you whether you cooperate or resist. Cooperation looks like conscious growth. Resistance looks like crisis after crisis after crisis. But the destination is the same. You becoming all of what you are instead of just the acceptable parts. Here's how this actually works. You were born whole. Then you learned that parts of you weren't acceptable. Your anger, your needs, your sexuality, your power, your vulnerability. So you split yourself. You became who you needed to be to survive. And you buried who you actually were. That's called creating a shadow. And life will spend the rest of your existence forcing you to reclaim it. Every person who triggers you is showing you your shadow. Every situation that terrifies you is revealing your shadow. Every quality you hate in others is your shadow projected outward. Jung's rule was absolute. Whatever you can't stand in others is disowned in yourself. That person whose confidence enrages you, you're seeing your disowned power. That person whose neediness disgusts you, you're seeing your disowned vulnerability. That person whose selfishness appalls you, you're seeing your disowned self-care. Life will keep sending these mirrors until you reclaim what you've rejected. It's not happening randomly, it's happening systematically. Jung watched this in every patient. First half of life, build the ego, achieve, adapt, succeed by external standards. Second half, dismantle the ego, question, reclaim, succeed by internal standards. Most people hit midlife and think something's wrong. Nothing's wrong. Right on schedule, life is demanding you meet the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. That crisis isn't failure. It's life saying, time to become whole. That depression isn't illness. It's life withdrawing energy from the false self. That breakdown isn't catastrophe. It's breakthrough trying to happen. Jung lived this consciously. Every relationship showed him disowned parts. Every crisis forced integration. Every surrender expanded who he was. Nothing was wasted. Every experience served one purpose, making him complete, not happy, complete. There's a difference. Happiness is the ego's goal. Completeness is the self's goal. And life serves the self, not the ego. This is why your life keeps disrupting your plans. Your ego has one plan. Your self has another. And life is loyal to the self. You're not living your life. Life is using you to experience what it's like to be limited. Here's the truth that destroys your sense of separation. You're not a person having experiences. You're how experience happens. Jung came to a conclusion that sounds mystical, but he arrived at it through observation. Individual consciousness isn't individual. It's universal consciousness localized. Infinite awareness temporarily constrained to experience what limitation feels like. This isn't philosophy. It's what Jung saw in the structure of dreams, the nature of archetypes, the reality of synchronicities. Your personal unconscious connects to the collective unconscious, which means your individual experience connects to universal experience. You're not separate. You're a temporary form that consciousness takes to know itself through contrast. Think about what this means. How does infinite consciousness experience fear? By becoming something mortal. How does it experience love? By becoming something that can lose. How does it know limitation? By becoming finite. Your life, with every specific struggle, is consciousness exploring what it can't know any other way. Through being you, consciousness experiences particularity. Through your relationships, it experiences both connection and separation. Through your suffering, it experiences growth through contrast. Jung experienced this directly in his visions. He saw that Carl Jung was a role consciousness was playing. Not Carl Jung having mystical experiences. Consciousness experiencing itself as Carl Jung. This inverts everything. Your struggles aren't just yours. They're consciousness exploring possibility through your nervous system. Your joy isn't just yours. It's consciousness knowing itself through celebration. Your death won't end you. It will be consciousness releasing this particular form. You're not trying to live a meaningful life. Consciousness is living itself as you. Your job isn't to achieve. Your job is to be completely yourself. So consciousness gets the full experience of being this particular human. Every time you suppress yourself, you rob consciousness of an experience. Every time you pretend, you limit what consciousness can know through you. Every time you live authentically, you give consciousness access to truth. Jung saw this as sacred duty, not to be good, to be real, not to achieve, to experience fully, not to transcend being human, to be completely human, so consciousness knows humanity through you. So how do you actually live with this knowledge? What changes when you understand life isn't what you thought? Jung's answer will surprise you. Everything becomes more important, not less. More sacred, not less. Knowing your consciousness experiencing limitation doesn't make life meaningless. It makes every moment precious beyond measure, because this is the only time consciousness gets to be you. Every conversation becomes significant because it's consciousness meeting itself. Every choice becomes meaningful because it's consciousness exploring possibility. Every emotion becomes valid because it's consciousness experiencing the full spectrum. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? You start asking, what is life experiencing through this? You stop resisting suffering. You start recognizing it as consciousness expanding through contrast. You stop taking everything personally because you recognize you're not the main character. You're one expression of an infinite process. But you also stop treating life casually because you recognize this specific expression will never happen again. Jung lived this way in his final years, completely engaged but totally detached, deeply present but not identified, experiencing life fully while knowing he was life experiencing itself. Life isn't what you were taught. It's not a test with right answers. It's not a competition with winners. It's not even yours the way you think. Life is your unconscious making itself visible through events, a war between persona and shadow staged as your biography, a script written before you were aware performing through your choices, a systematic process of forcing you to become complete. Consciousness experiencing limitation through your particular form. Once you see this, nothing is the same. Not because life becomes easier. It might become harder as you become conscious, but because you finally know what's actually happening. You're not lost in meaningless chaos. You're exactly where the process requires you to be. You're not failing at life. Your life succeeding at experiencing itself through you. You're not separate and alone. You're how life knows what it's like to be human. Most people will die without understanding this. They'll think they lived their life, when really life lived them. They'll think they made choices, when really they enacted scripts. They'll think they were separate individuals, when really they were consciousness in temporary form. But you're different now. You've seen the pattern. You recognize what's actually happening. You're not in life trying to survive it. You are life, experiencing itself as human. If you're ready to live more consciously as what you actually are, subscribe for Jung's radical psychology. And to understand individuation, the process of becoming psychologically whole, click the video on screen now. Remember this, life isn't testing you. Life is experiencing itself through you. You are life's way of knowing what limitation feels like. And that knowing is what you've always called your existence.